How's it hanging, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and when you look at Windows Phone 7 devices, you have a lot of options, but you don't get a lot of options when it comes to keyboards. If you want a physical QWERTY keyboard, you're pretty much stuck with the HTC Arrive or the 7 Pro, depending on where you are, the Dell Venue Pro, or the LG Quantum. Which one's the best? Which one has the best keyboard? We know what we're going to do. We're going to find out in a dogfight. HTC Arrive on one hand, Dell Venue Pro on the other hand. One of these has the best physical QWERTY keyboard. One of these has the best screen. One of these is all around the best device, at least when it comes to Windows Mobile or Windows Phone 7 QWERTY. One of these is the best. We're going to figure out which one in the dogfight. Here's the Maps application. You can see very responsive just in terms of direction. Like, for example, very clean, very easy to use. The fonts look great. Let's see. You have a couple of options where we can go over here and get directions. We can find me, do search. We can look at aerial view. We can see the traffic if we want to in this particular area. See some traffic. It looks to be pretty clear at the moment. So a few slowdowns right there. So you can see Nations Ford here's a bad one. Usually. Let's see here. Looks pretty good today. So you can see easy to use. And same over here. This one's just a little bit, this is running EVDO, which seems to be a little bit slower across the board than T-Mobile's internet as well, T-Mobile's 3G, which this is not an HSPA Plus device, but still running a little bit faster than EVDO. So you can tell pages load faster, everything's just overall faster. Let's take a look at the marketplace and have a look and see how it differentiates itself from the Android market, from Apple's iOS, or from Apple's App Store, things like that. We'll go in here and take a look. Go into Marketplace, for example, and we'll see here. It'll bring up this kind of basic screen, and it's really improved from where it was when the operating system first debuted. We can see apps, games, and music. We'll click on apps. Go to Super Monkey Ball. That's not really exciting to me. Hey, if you like Super Monkey Ball, it's on here. That's pretty exciting for some people, not for mine. So let's go to News and Weather, and let's take a look at free. And you can see the text up here at the top. All I have to do is scroll over, and I can access that. So let's go to free, just to say, and I don't actually have an account set up on this device, but we can do, let's just do ESPN Radio, for example, just to see what it looks like. You can see the developer, the name of the application, the icon. If it costs any money, it's free. The star rating. You can see some screenshots and some reviews, and then some related applications. So we'll go back. Let's look at, see if we can look at NBA schedule, for example, just so you can see a small description here. The star views, again, then when you install it, I don't have an account set up, so it's not going to let me install it, but you'll need a Windows Live ID. And when you set up the device initially, it'll ask you to set up one of those. So you can do that out of the box if you don't have one once you get the device and you're going through the setup process. So Marketplace, it's decent. It's not nowhere in comparison to the Android market or the App Store in terms of applications or overall usability, but still pretty functional. And overall, I've been pretty pleased with it. You can see Xbox Live, Microsoft Office come with both of these devices, and I'm just doing it on one right now because these are very similar. You can see OneNote. We can go in here and we can explore the applications. We can, let's say, for example, explore Word. I want to create a new Word document. I can do, I'm sorry, that's the, let's go back through here. New document, there we go. New Word document. So I can create a Word document, the keyboard pops up, and I can either use the virtual QWERTY or I can use the physical QWERTY, and I can just type away and go from there. So I can create documents on this device, I can edit and take a look at documents. No, I don't want to save those changes. And I can explore PowerPoint as well, though I can't create PowerPoints on this device, but I can definitely explore those on the unit. T-Mobile TV installed. I can't download it because I don't have a Windows Live ID installed, but basically, free application that gives you TV service. Basic channels are free. Premium television channels are $9.99 per month. I don't know why I can't talk today. $9.99 per month, and get some premium channels there. Telenav GPS Navigator, that's T-Mobile's. And then let's take a minute to jump over to Sprint Zone on this device and just take a brief look at what you get in here. You can access things like Sprint TV. You can see some Sprint shortcuts. Wait for it to check for new info. Yeah, check for new info. You can see I can scroll over between the two menus here once they load. But anyway, it may take this forever. And this is what I'm talking about, very poor data speeds, which, you know, if you're a data hog, you're going to use this for browsing the web. Take note of this, because this is the kind of data speeds you're going to get. That's taking too long. But Sprint TV, Sprint shortcuts, things like that are pre-installed. Let's take a quick look at the phone application, and you can see the call history pops up by default, and then you have these buttons down here at the bottom: voicemail, dial pad, and contacts. I can click on the dial pad, brings it up, and it's a nice clean dial pad. And I think this is kind of funny, when you hit the side of the button moves. You can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the button moves, which I think is pretty cool. So very clean. You can either save the number, you can dial it, or then if you want to go back, let's get rid of this and go back from the dial pad, you can see your contacts if you want. Now, one thing that frustrates me about Windows Phone 7, you'll see this up here. You can see the signal strength indicator when you're in the phone menu, or the phone application rather, but you don't see it when you're out here. All you have to do is pull it down like that, and you can see EVDO connectivity and the signal strength indicator, the battery life, that it's on silent, Wi-Fi, etc. But after about 3 seconds, it pops back up. You see what it just did. And so you don't get that continuous, you know, knowledge of what your signal strength is like, which for me is kind of frustrating. For you, it may not bother you at all, but for me at least, I would like to see that in the settings where I could change it and make it visible at all times. So, you know, calendar, we'll jump back to this one. Since, you know, like I said, the operating system's exactly the same, so I'm just jumping back and forth between the devices. You have the option of looking at today or at the agenda, and you can see we'll pop up a new appointment, for example. Subject is hey, location just hey for the sake of arguing, and you can see from 6 to 7 I'm going to do hey, and then when I come back out here it shows up on the widget. So this again is where, you know, the rectangular widgets will be helpful for messaging, be helpful for people, and perhaps email as well. I can definitely see previews across the board on all of those. So that said, you know, one of these has to be the winner in the dogfight, and despite some similarities, or despite complete similarities almost, in the operating system, you know, it really boils down to a hardware thing, because they're, you know, with the exception of the newsroom here and Sprint Zone and HTC Hub over here, they're exactly the same. So, you know, with that said, I'd have to give, and of course, T-Mobile TV and Family Room. So with that said, the dogfight goes to the Dell Venue Pro. I think out of both of these devices, I would definitely go with the Dell Venue Pro, and I think the thing that really wins me over, at least, is the screen on this device. 4-inch AMOLED screen, absolutely fantastic, looks great. The blacks are nice and black, and then of course the portrait keyboard. That's probably the second thing that wins me over on this device. The fact that, you know, Windows Phone 7 isn't optimized for landscape keyboards, so it doesn't perform very well, or at least, you know, things like this frustrate me, that it's not optimized for portrait, so it's not going to transfer over, whereas this is, or landscape rather, whereas this is a portrait keyboard, so it just works out of the box without any major difficulties. So Venue Pro for me, but hey, both of these devices are great. The challenge here, it's $200, so that puts it up against the Epic 4G, the Evo Shift, and a bunch of other devices that honestly I'd recommend before I recommend the Arrive. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're doing the Colossal iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes, where we're giving away iPad 2s and Motorola Atrix 4Gs and Google Nexus S's and more. T-Mobile MyTouch 4Gs. You can't beat that. So go over to Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Check those out. And be sure to like us. Follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron. Stop by, say hey, let me know what's up. PhoneDog_Aaron. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.